Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. How are you this morning? A little bit of a late start this morning. A lot of that was to do with the weather. Yesterday's show, I had difficulties broadcasting it because of the frightful weather we had here. So anyway, it's improved a bit. I'm just out on the veranda, been feeding the chickens actually, with Mr. Cockerel there. And also, I think, is that one of Laurel and Hardy? I think that is one of Laurel and Hardy. We just call this pair Laurel and Hardy simply because they're always together. But the other one, the other hen, is down by the fence there. Oh, that's not the hen, that's little Herbert down there. So anyway, the weather today, a lot better than yesterday, although I've got to be honest, it's not cold. That's one good thing about it. However, the cold does feature in my news today, which I'll explain in just a little while. You will have noticed that my show from yesterday has gone up now at last. I was not exaggerating, I was up till about 3:30 this morning trying to upload the show. While I was broadcasting it yesterday, it was really bad. The reception was really bad for people. People are trying to follow the show. So it's now up and it will be below me, hopefully somewhere. It will be below me, hopefully somewhere where you can watch it. But I do know it is up at the moment. Right then, let's... Sorry about that. I actually switched the pressed the wrong button for the camera to turn round. Anyway, I'm back again. I do apologise about that. Also as well today, it's Jane's birthday. So happy birthday to the lovely lady Jane. We've been together now 11 years. We actually met over here in about 2009 when I was working as the entertainment manager for the Coretta Beach Hotel. And we've been together ever since. So anyway, it's her birthday today. So that was one of the reasons for doing the show yesterday, so that we got completely kind of a free day ready. We're going to have a small little balcony party, just the two of us, the cats and the chickens, a little bit later on. All right. At least the weather is holding firm at the moment. Right. Okay, then. Let's have a quick look at the news for today, which is the 18th of November 2020. Day 12 of the lockdown as well. It's been rather interesting what's been going on. First of all, just give you the COVID stats for the last 24 hours. We've had 2,422 new cases in Greece, bringing the total number of COVID infections since the pandemic started to 78,825. Just for interest sakes, we've had, of those infections, 53.8% of those are actually male men who actually had the infection. Anyway, last night we had one new infection here on the island. Just got the news this morning while I was checking the news that a 53-year-old man from Zakynthos, who was in contact with the Bulgarian woman who tested positive from the virus a few days ago, the 53-year-old man will remain in hospital for examinations and a follow-up, as his symptoms are said not to be mild. So anyway, we wish him the best of luck and let's hope that he's okay. And he's 53, so he's younger than me and Jane, but I'm not going to say any more than that. Also, for our neighbours up the road in Corfu, they've had 15 new cases as well since yesterday. And unfortunately, since yesterday, we've had 63 new deaths, which was up on the day before where we had 59. So a total of 1,228 deaths have occurred since the pandemic started in Greece. The average age of people is around about 80 years of age with underlying health problems. However, 97.2% of those people who passed away actually had those underlying health problems. So anyway, and interestingly at the moment, another story that's making the rounds here in Greece at the moment was the pictures of a priest lifting a child to kiss the corpse of the Archbishop of Lagadas, who died of COVID on Monday. You might remember I actually reported his death. Now, this has caused a massive controversy here in Greece, not only with the mainstream media, but also with websites and social media as well. Anyway, the body of the bishop was in an open coffin, which is the way here in Greece, so that the other priests and faithful could obviously pay their respects. Now, the child who was described as lucky had a mask on. However, some priests, including the one who lifted the child, didn't have masks on when they went to kiss the clergyman who passed away. Anyway, some media and dozens of Greek social media outlets have been demanding that restrictions and fines for those violating should apply to priests as well. Anyway, the government said that they would send prosecutors to find the clergy who'd violated the measures. However, so far, nothing has happened. So we'll keep an eye on that story for you as well. Anyway, when it comes to critical cases in hospitals at the moment, there are 443 people in ICUs around the country. 300 of those are male, 143 of those are female. And the average age of those people in ICUs at the moment is 65. Okay, with 81.5% who have got underlying health conditions who are over the age of 70. However, as I said before, doctors are kind of concerned that they are seeing their age dropping, and they have somebody as young as 18 with the virus in intensive care in Greece. Anyway, yesterday's reports indicated that the COVID ICU wards in northern hospitals of Calabria, Drama, Ceres and Axina are now at full capacity. Yeah, with no signs of the situation improving. Medical experts are still predicting that the crisis will get even worse in the coming days before the latest lockdown starts to yield any results. And as I did say yesterday, since the lockdown, things have got worse, to be quite honest. Death rates up, infection rates are up, and to be honest, people here are actually following the rules. Okay, so anyway, we'll see what happens there. Anyway, yesterday, as you're probably aware, 17th of November, a big commemorative day in Greek life, commemorating the 1973 Poliythnic. Now, wreaths were laid yesterday afternoon in Zakynthos to commemorate the 1973 Poliythnic uprising. Despite the ban on groups, wreaths were laid by the Labour Centre and representatives of the unions in Solomos Square by the statue of the poet Solomos. Full restrictions were observed and protective measures were taken. And obviously, looking at the photographs of it yesterday, there wasn't many people. It was a very, very small group. Anyway, the president of the Labour Centre, George Constantinou, addressed the gathering with a small speech, saying that among things that the modern message of the Poliythnic finds an expression in the struggle for their health and life and the fights of the people. And with this contact, we honour the people this year. He further stated that they are still going to go ahead and fight for the success of a strike, which is going to take place 26th of November. So that will be interesting to see how that comes. And that is a nationwide strike. It's not just a local strike here as well. Anyway, meanwhile, yesterday afternoon, it's a different story in Athens. Athens police there detained more than 100 people during several rallies across the city as hundreds of protesters defied the ban on gatherings of more than 3 people to mark the anniversary. Officers broke up a march organised by the Communist Party, or the KKE, who described the clash with the police as an orgy of government authoritarianism, police violence and repression against its 1,500 protesters. There were also reports that the police were beating elderly protesters as well. However, the Civil Protection Minister argued that the officers asked them repeatedly to respect the ban and to leave the area. He said there was no choice but to order the dissolution of this gathering. Imagine 1,500 people marching through the city in the middle of a pandemic. Anyway, the minister told Greek Sky that the KK I'll say that again. The minister told Greek Sky, which is like a TV outlet here in Greece, he said, I honour the KKE, but I feel disappointment with 95% of the ICUs occupied. A political party holds a rally in the city centre with 1,500 people. He added, those who were detained or arrested will be fined for violating the government health measures. Also as well, Athens police also fined a lone woman for laying a wreath at the site of the Poliythnic. Now, this has also raised a bit of a hullabaloo as well. She said, my job is 100 metres away. I come every year for past 40 years. I respect the pandemic and the wreath of my fellow citizens and the health of my fellow citizens. I followed the measures. I wear a mask and I came to leave a flower at the door and then to leave. I am alone, she said. She walked to the site after the company where she works closed for the day due to the anniversary and obviously possible riots. She showed the police her MS booking text, which she stated was at number 6, which is for basically exercise. However, the police were not convinced and they still went ahead and confirmed the fine of €300, which I think for that lady is probably just under probably what she would earn a week in her wage. So, yeah, this is not good. Anyway, interestingly, I was talking to Wiggy over there in Cyprus quickly this morning. He says the weather over there is absolutely marvellous. However, we have been told that there's going to be a cold front on the way. Although I've got to be honest, I'm sat here this morning in just a little top, and the government has decided that they're going to allow supermarkets to sell several durable items such as blankets, radiators, coats, and slippers. Anyway, before the citizens freeze. That's their wording, not mine, all right? The development minister took the special decision to allow the sale of products to be allowed from today. So happy birthday, Jane. You're going to get a new pair of slippers. There we go. As the lockdown has obviously shut down retail stores. But I've got to be honest, I don't know many of the retail stores, maybe Lidl, who's selling radiators, coats and slippers. I don't know, has anybody seen any coats and slippers for sale? Anyway, there is a list of things you can buy on, which the government has put out. I actually haven't checked that list, but I should have really. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you know. You can buy a few durable items if you want to stay warm. Anyway, interestingly as well, with Brexit going on as well at the moment, and are obviously trying to shore things up with the UK and also keep certain EU countries in line as well. The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that Greece will have access to €2 billion as of November the 17th, that was of yesterday, to help companies and employees affected by the pandemic. Anyway, speaking to the state broadcaster, ERT, von der Leyen said that I have good news. I just don't like the way this has been written. Maybe she spoke like this, I don't know. But it says, I have good news for Greece. As of Tuesday, Greece will have access to €2 billion through the SURE mechanism. In total, it will have access to €2.7 billion. It's a lot of money for a good cause. That's her wording. The aim is to tell healthy companies to keep the workforce in the company, not to fire them, and we will subsidise part of the salary if they do not have enough work. Well, this is all very interesting at the moment. We could have done with a bit of that during the summer, to be quite honest. I'm very cynical on this. I always said right from the start, Greece would toe the line with Europe, okay, and they would be bribed basically to toe the line with Europe by basically accepting bailouts from the EU. It's going to be interesting to see if this is a bailout of a description, or will this go on the bill that Greece already has with the EU. Also, as well, just to emphasise a point, there's a lot of people who've been working over this summer who probably have not qualified for ECA, despite the fact that they've done 51 days, because of the status of the company that they work for, which has been moved from being a seasonal company to a full-time company, because the amount of staff that they employ does not give them the status of being classed as a seasonal company. These people, from what we can understand at the moment, still have had no decision as to whether they're going to receive any ECA throughout the winter. A lot of the hoteliers, they've been receiving money. I know a lot of the hoteliers haven't been paid money that they're owed by TUI as well, but they have received something. The people who've been working still do not know whether they are going to receive a full ECA payment through this winter. And I'll be keeping my eye very closely on that to see if people do get something this winter. Just like to remind people, our lockdowns have been nothing like the lockdowns in the way of financial bailout that the UK have had, where people have been getting 80% of their wage, etc., etc. In this country, if you have no money here, you will starve. And I'm not being melodramatic when I say that. It is just the way it is here in Greece. All right, let's have a quick look at who's tuning in at the moment. Dawn Usher is there. Nice to see you, Dawn. I'll give you a quick wave back. Pam Stott is watching as well. Nice to see you, Pam, as well. Emma Marku is also watching as well. Going to give you a quick wave. Emma Marku says, morning, Ginge. I hope you and Jane are well. Yes, we're very well. Thank you for that, my darling. Claire Barrett is also watching as well. Keith Jean Bolton, oh lovely Jean's tuning in as well. She's the widow of Pete Barton, who was Zakynthos' very first Elvis tribute. Nice to have you looking in there, Jean. Also Sid James, he's tuning in as well. Lovely to see old Sid here. He also says morning, Ginge. Morning, Sid, nice to have you. Brett Weston is also tuning in. Nice to see you here as well. Andrew the Fridge Watkins over there in Wales is tuning in as well. The weather today is a lot better, Andrew, compared to yesterday. And at the moment, it doesn't feel cold, although we're waiting for this cold set to come. So anyway, I hope you're doing well, big buddy. He says, morning, Ginge, from a wet Wales. So it's raining where you are. All right, then, bless you, mate. Steve Hodgson is also tuning in. Nice to have you tuning in there, Steve. I hope things are good for you. And Steve says... Ulrich Powell from the concert crew. Yes, they're all firefighters, I remember, up there in County Durham. Anyway, good to see you. What's the weather like up there? I bet it's getting cold up in County Durham at this time of year. Anyway, Susie Angus is also watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in. Sam Curtis is also tuning in. Sam was trying to listen to the show yesterday. Bless you. You had to give up. I don't blame you for giving up, mate, because the reception yesterday was absolutely awful. Put it this way. I was up till 3:30. I think I may have already said this. I was up till 3:30 this morning trying to upload the show, and it said, take over 2 hours, take over 2 hours. It would get so far and then just crash out. And at the end, I said, oh, sod it, I'll do it in the morning. I did it in the morning. It was up in 18 minutes. That's how bad the weather was interfering with the internet. Anyway, thank you, Sam. And don't worry, Sam, I'm going to be recording your birthday special towards the end of the week, all right? And then I will be sending that to you ready for your birthday on the 27th, all right? Anyway, Phil Bass is also watching. Amanda Gregory is watching. I didn't say to Amanda about your little GoFundMe, which I know you put some details at the bottom of my broadcast on the Greek Bulletin page. So if anybody wants to give a couple of bob to help pay for some little dogs that they've rescued, by all means, pop a few bob on the GoFundMe down on the page there. And she also says, happy birthday to Jane. Thank you, Amanda. I'll pass your good wishes on. And Dave Camp being very clever, saying, Galimera, good morning and happy birthday to Jane in Greek. Oh, you're getting good, sir. You're getting good. And he's tuning in as well. Jack Harmer is also tuning in. Rap Reg Buddy, nice to see you. Kaz M. Jones, there's a new person. Kaz M. Jones. Anyway, nice to have you tuning in. Sam Curtis also says, morning, Ginge. Happy birthday to Jane. And thank you for that as well, Sam. Right, so that's it from me for today. We shall see how things proceed with the weather at the moment. I've got to be honest, the weather is looking rather grim at the moment. But Jane and I are going to attempt to have a little balcony party here with the cats and the chickens and just ourselves, okay, because obviously we're still in lockdown at the moment and waiting to see how much longer this is going to go on for. Maybe by Friday we'll get some form of announcement as to whether it will continue. There is talk of it continuing till maybe the 10th of December. And my birthday's on the 13th, all right? So maybe it might be over by then and we can go out somewhere rather than doing it at home. Anyway, we did have a nice Easter on the balcony. I've got to admit, we did have a nice Easter, but the weather was a lot better. Anyway, listen, Ginger, starting to burble on. I better go. Things to do. Quick shout out to Neil Ager, who's also looking in at the moment. And also, thank you, Wiggy, for the wind up this morning. You had me and Jane going when you said that he was gonna, what do you call it, turn up on the doorstep. And he's like, what? How did you get here? And he says, I'm only joking. So thank you for that, Wiggy. Oh, and Amanda has just said, thank you, Ginge. They've just had another 4 dogs dumped on them yesterday. Bless you. Well, you do what you can do. That's all you can do. Bless you. Once people know that you're a place to leave animals, trust me, they will leave animals. We've had cats left at our door. So, and we're known as the cat people in the village. So I better not say too much. We might end up with more. Anyway, I'll let you get on. You have a great day. And also, happy birthday to the lovely Lady Jane on this day. Love you, babes. Catch you later. Bye.